Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Dr. Scott, Friday edition. Happy Friday to everybody. I can't believe I just said Friday. As I've been telling you in the last couple of shows, we're not going to be talking about this whole coronavirus thing and kind of what's been going on. That was never my intention. I know last couple of days that was the question of the day was kind of what was going on with you, but that's not the point. The point is, I came back to do the show because some of you might have some extra time off, and I want to make sure that you're making productive use of that extra time. I'm actually rereading one of my favorite books, actually my favorite personal development book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, and this is a quadrant 2 activity. That's what I'm going to be trying to work on you, is making sure that you're focused on quadrant 2 activities. If you don't know what that means, you need to read the book, but it basically is that these are important things but not urgent. So I'm seeing an opportunity for you all to work on things that you should have been working on even while practice was busy, while practice was normal. These are things you should be working on, but you just didn't have the time. You were too busy doing what you do that you didn't get it done. So I'm going to help you during this time where maybe you're pushed off, maybe you're not. And again, I'm talking to a lot of chiropractors coast to coast right now, and there's a big difference. Some of you are shut down. I'm seeing several chiropractors on the social medias that are just can't even get into work, not allowed to. Other of you are flourishing right now, and everything in between. So I'm not saying where you're at. I'm just saying these are activities that you should be working on regardless. So again, less talk about what's going on and more talk about how you can improve yourself during this time. So the question of the day today is not about what's going on. It's what you got in that cup. What are you drinking this morning? It doesn't have to be coffee. I won't fault you if you're not drinking coffee. It's okay. But I do want to know what you got in the cup. I am drinking a mahogany dark roast from Caribou Coffee out of Minneapolis. And, sorry, trying to get all my stuff set up here. I've got Kerrygold butter in there, Brain Octane from Bulletproof, also collagen protein from Bulletproof, and then Quest MCT oil powder. I hear a lot of you taking like the MCT oil oils, which the Brain Octane is an oil, but the MCT oil powder, if you haven't tried it, give that a shot. It actually makes it a little bit foamier if you're a keto or a Bulletproof coffee type drinker. So, what you got in that cup? Put it down in the comments down below. Even if it's tea, even if it's water, it's okay. Let me know what you're drinking down there. And we talked yesterday about the fact that I was putting together a curriculum for you. We've got the curriculum figured out. I'm very, very excited about it, actually, because we are going to be going live daily here over the next, really, I'm planning for 8 weeks. No matter how long this stuff goes on for, I'm planning on going daily for the next 8 weeks. That's kind of the season we put together for you. So, John, I see you joined in your request for the 14 Secrets of High Performance Chiropractors. That's going to be on Mondays. Every Monday, we're going to give a new secret, maybe 2. Since it's only 8 weeks and there's 14 secrets, I might go 2 secrets per Monday that we do. Tuesdays are going to be productivity and motivational hacks. And Wednesdays, we're going to do the perfect case acceptance, which I'm actually going to start today as far as introducing both the perfect case acceptance and the high performance chiropractor secrets. Thursdays, we're going to work on some referral concepts for your practice, how to get more referrals. And not only how to get more referrals, but how to automate referrals, how to ensure referrals, how to really build your practice off referrals. And then Fridays are going to be recap shows. So we're going to go through all the 4 tips that we worked on all week long. Every Friday, we'll kind of recap those. So if you're only going to catch one show every week, Friday would be the show to catch. And then we can link back to all the other shows. So that is the plan. So if you're watching me live right now, or even on a recording, make sure you hit that little like button. And also answer the question of the day, which is what you got in that cup. All right. Perfect case acceptance. Let's talk about it. Because often when I say it, nobody really knows what that means. I call case acceptance or case presentation. A lot of the chiropractors will call it report of findings. But for me, perfect case acceptance is the goal here. It's not about the presentation. It's about getting perfect case acceptance. It's about getting a patient to agree to, let me define it, because that is really the key here, is making sure that you understand what case acceptance means. So when I say perfect case acceptance, I'm talking about every patient that comes into your office, accepting your recommendation, actually, nodding their head and saying, yes, I agree with you, doctor. That's what I need. Then turning around and scheduling all those visits, actually showing up for those visits, paying the money, the fee for those visits, and doing so happily. And then it would also include them continuing on for some sort of wellness, maintenance care, whatever you call it. Again, if you know me as a coach, I don't push you in that direction. I just try to help you find how it works for you. But continuing on with care for you for whatever it is that you recommend. It goes beyond that, though, to the sense that after they do all that stuff, or in the middle of them doing all that stuff, they also go out and grab all their friends and family and drag them into your office pre-sold to follow your instructions as well. So that's what we're looking for in perfect case acceptance. And some of you may hear that and be like, that's not really possible, doc. Well, it is possible. I've seen it. And in fact, several of you may be getting perfect case acceptance right now and you just don't know it. And the reason you don't know it is because you're getting perfect case acceptance, but that patient is getting care from a different doctor down the road, a couple miles down the road, because you pushed them out of your office, because you either pushed too far or you didn't push enough. And we're going to find that balance when we go through the perfect case acceptance stuff. You become what I call a donor practice, where you might tell the story, you might tell the patient what they need, but they don't get the care in your office. They go somewhere else to get the care because you're pushing them out. We're going to talk about that, how to fix that, how to make sure that you are no longer a donor practice. You start to become a recipient practice. You start becoming the doctor that people come to when other doctors force them out of their offices. So perfect case acceptance. Again, I've seen it happen. It also ties into our referral stuff that we're going to be talking about on Thursdays. One of my goals in getting perfect case acceptance in your case presentation, as well as in getting referrals, is what we call a same-day referral. If you set up your processes to, I wouldn't say encourage, because there's nothing really you're doing. You're just being so good at what you do that people want to refer, that when new patient leaves the first day, and by the end of that day, you get a phone call saying they're referred by that new patient that day, that's a same-day referral. And that's the way I want you to set up your systems. Too many of you set up your systems as far as case presentation or report of findings to get through the day, to get them started. And I want to be so overwhelmingly good at this that, again, you get perfect case acceptance and you get a same-day referral. That's going to be our goal. And again, we'll be working on that on Wednesdays as we go forward here. To make sure that you have that ability to do both of those things. All right, I see John chiming in with Folgers, with bulletproof collagen and brain octane. Great. I love the brain octane. I do not like the oil. That's why I use the Quest protein or MCT oil powder. I hate the oil. It just bubbles up, after a while, depending on how long you drink it. But Folgers. Not sure about that, John. Anyways, at least you got some good brain stuff in there. Good for you. Second thing we're going to be working on, well, I shouldn't say the second thing. It's actually going to be the first. Coming Monday, we're going to share the first of the 14 secrets of high-performing chiropractors. So again, for me, this has been a study of mine, kind of a passion of mine since when I was in practice. So when did I stop practicing? 2008, 2009? One of those two? I forget. So I was in practice. Most of you know I owned I would say 7, because the 8th one I had just opened up when I sold off the practices. But there were 8 practices total, but let's just call it 7, because 7 were fully functioning. The first one had just gotten off the ground. So 7 practices that I had. A big part of my passion back then was traveling around and meeting with other high-performance chiropractors, finding out what they were doing, how they were doing it right, learning how to grow my own business. Since then, when I've been consulting, it's the same thing. I'm out there helping chiropractors, but I'm also studying for myself, seeing what makes people tick that are very, very successful, and then seeing what's different about the ones that are struggling. So that study over the years, I've come up with 14 different traits, habits of highly successful chiropractors, high-performance chiropractors, and I'm going to be sharing those with you on Monday. But whenever I start to share those secrets with a client or in some of my social media stuff, I always start with a story about a fly. And most of you don't get it until we finish, so stick with me on this one. But I always talk about flies in general, I guess. But for me, in my garage, which again, most of you know, used to be right down there. I can still see the plot of land where it used to be, but has burned to the ground back in November. It was Cairo Launch Headquarters. That's not important. This is not a woe is me story. However, back when I was in that garage, I used to work in a very similar, I had a stand-up workstation just like this with a window right there. And because I was in the garage, every day over the summer, I would leave the garage door open. And every day, as I was working, I would hear the sound of a fly hitting that window, and then the buzzing would just start to escalate, right? You've heard it yourself. But especially in a hot garage, actually with the garbage cans right around the corner, there's just a lot of flies. So fly would hit that window, buzz, try it again, buzz, and continue to escalate its attempts to break through the window. And as you are well aware, that fly has no chance of getting through that window. But its strategy was simply to what? Try harder, right? It would just buzz harder and harder and just keep on hitting its head against that window. I'd sit there and laugh at the fly, sometimes save it, other times just watch it go through its process, but realizing that right over there, 10 steps away from me, 3 seconds of flying time for that fly, the garage door is wide open. If that fly would just back up and look around and try to make a new strategy, it could fly out to the freedom it wanted. But it staked its life on trying to break through that glass. It's staked its life on trying harder to get through that glass. And obviously that's a strategy that's going to kill that fly. That fly is never going to get where it wants to get to. Where a different strategy, and I'd sit there, I'm like, what makes that thing think that it can do that? What makes it think that trying harder is the answer here? So if you're watching this live, you can't do this, but if you're watching this replay, back up a little bit, listen to that story again, and whenever I say fly, think about yourself. Think about your past. Think about your efforts to succeed. Think about your efforts to get where you want to get to. And think about how many times you've hit your head up against that window and decided that trying harder was the answer. And trying harder was the way you were going to get the freedom you wanted, the success you wanted. And you continued butting your head up against the glass with no hope for success, trying harder. Now listen to me. And I'm going to get into this because one of the secrets is about trying harder. Effort is not a bad thing. Obviously, that's a virtue. However, in this case, with the wrong strategy, trying harder is going to do nothing but lead to burnout. In that fly's case, it's going to lead to death. In your case, it could lead to practice death. Trying a different strategy is the way to go about that. So that's a little setup for the 14 Secrets of High-Performing Chiropractors. And you might be like, what does that mean? Well, just keep that fly in mind as I go through these series. You get what I'm saying. Keep the fly in mind. Every Monday when I go through a secret or two of the High Performance Chiropractor, always kind of have that fly in mind because that is how people break out of the struggle. It's how chiropractors get past mediocre. It's how chiropractors get past average because they stop with the struggle and they start looking at different strategies. They look at different ways. I'm giving you all the secrets right off the bat. Anyway, so Perfect Case Acceptance is going to be on Wednesdays. And again, think about that like we talked about. It's patients accepting all your care, scheduling the care, showing up for the care, paying for the care, and then dragging everybody else in pre-sold to do the same. That's what we want in practice, right? And High Performance Chiropractor Secrets are going to start on Mondays. I'm really, really excited about that series. I've shared a few of the secrets here and there, but I've never shared it all together. That's why I was creating a video series for you. But again, we're going to do it here in the show. I said I was going to keep these shows down to 10 minutes or less. I'm at 13, so I'm going to cut it off for today. But I just want to share with you the curriculum, I guess we'll say. I hope you all love it. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you leave me a comment down below of what you got in that cup. And I will talk to you all on Monday morning. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you soon.